Hello, welcome to Ministry Moments. This is Bob Gray Sr., and it's an honor to be with you. We, every Friday, Lord willing, at 3 o'clock Central Time on this Solve Church Problems YouTube channel, we'll have Ministry Moments every Friday. I I used to say, sometimes mess it up and say Eastern Time, but it's not, it's Central Time. And basically, this is generally every week. This is for every Christian, everybody. We try to help in every facet of the Christian life. But today I want to talk to pastors and those who pastoral staff and who do counseling and that type of thing. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll give you some things. A lot of questions have been asked in the last few weeks, and good questions, good solid questions. And I certainly want to share with you. Share. There we go again. That liberal term, huh? But I want to give you some thoughts I have about specifically this matter of counseling females, because we want to protect you, protect them, and protect the ministry, the name of the ministry, and so on. So let me talk to you about that, if you will. Now, Brother Hiles would baptize 100 baptized. He would counsel with 100, 120 every week. Our ministry was pretty good size, but never to the point where I counseled that many. I would average 25, 26 a week, and I set up a system that hopefully would work in favor of having time with the people and also getting to the heart of the matter and trying to help them. Now, for example, number one, first thing I would suggest, I had a form stating the reason for the appointment. Somebody would come by the office and they would say, I need to make an appointment with the pastor. And I would see people at certain times, after church, never on Sunday morning, but after church, unless it was an emergency, Sunday night after church. And during the week, they'd come in, pick up a form, they'd fill it out, and put the reason for wanting to see the pastor, wanting to have a counseling appointment with the pastor. Now, that helped me in many ways, because if it were finances, then I would go to the financial department and find out if they're tithing. If it had to do with the school, then I would check with the principal of the school. Dr. Zen was the principal at that time, and check with him and try to get some input about the child and so on. And a lot of times I would refer them when they would come in to Dr. Zen or whoever the principal of high school, junior high, grade school. And I would send, because it pertained to that. And that's not my area. I'm over it, but I don't know the details of it. So that form helped me. It helped me a lot. So the first thing I would say is I would create a form. I say create, that's what I did. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm not telling you what to do. But I created a form, and they would come in and say, I need to see the pastor. And I could only see so many on a Sunday night, and sometimes we'd have to move them to the following, or maybe even a month or 2 months away, just the nature of it. So they would fill out that form. Then those forms would go from the receptionist to the secretary, my personal secretary, and then she would have a stack of those. And then she knew when she looked at them, fit finances, to get information from the Mrs. Ayers, our financial lady, and she had 3 ladies working for her. And because I wanted to know if they were tithing or not, because you can't help somebody with their finances, they're not doing the basic things of tithing. So anyway, that form helped me a lot in speeding up the process of counseling. Now we're talking about counseling females. So number one, you get a form, have them fill it out and exactly what the area is that they want some help with, because it may be something I can't help them with. Number two, let the pastor's wife counsel the females. The best thing to do, we had an office in the back. We had, and I'll talk about it in just a minute, but I had a conference room with 2 sliding doors and 2 secretaries sitting outside of the sliding doors, a conference table in the conference room. When it came to counseling, my wife, and her health was good and was able to do so, she would take the ladies into the back room back there and shut the door, and then she would do her counseling back there with them. I never would go back there because I wanted to use that conference room. So number one, have a form filled out so that can kind of give you a heads up about what it is they want to talk to you about, and you may be able to help them immensely by knowing ahead of time. Number two, let the pastor's wife counsel the females. Number three, if a pastor must counsel a female, have a staff lady present. Now, I would use that conference room because it had the sliding doors, had two secretaries sitting outside. I would be inside. If it was absolutely, and sometimes it was necessary that I talk to a lady, I would make sure it was in that conference room. Now, if it's during the week and somebody comes in, I would bring in one of our staff ladies and have them sit there while the lady talked to me or asked the questions that she asked. That was for her protection, and that was for my protection. So number one, have a form stating the reason for the appointment. And if it's financial, then you can send it to the financial department, find out if they're tithing or not, because they have to start there by being faithful with their tithes and offerings. They'd do the school. I'd get a hold of the principal, if it was high school, junior high, or maybe it was the bus kids school, something like that, or something to do with the college. Then I would refer it to the president of the college and the administrators. That helped me immensely. Let the pastor's wife counsel the ladies. Let the pastor wife take them back. Number three, if a pastor must counsel a female, have a staff lady present. I'll tell you a story. One time, Mrs. Gray was taking them back there and people coming in, and my wife said to me, "Can I see you for a minute?" I said, "Sure." We went in a little private hallway there, and she said, "You're not counseling that girl, that lady." Well, the girl was a lady. "You're not counseling that lady." And I said, "Okay." So I went back in. I said, "Ma'am, won't you get in line and see Mrs. Gray?" And went on about our business. Went home. When I got home, I said, "Would you mind telling me why you didn't want me talking to that lady?" Now, it wasn't that we would be alone somewhere. The class doors were there. Conference table there. She said, "I didn't like the way she looked at you. And as far as I'm concerned, you'll never talk to her alone." And I never did. Now, the truth of the matter is, my wife, you see a husband and wife team, they're great together, because where the man's strong, the wife's weak. Where the wife's strong, the man is weak. And she saw things that I didn't see because I guess she's a female and she knows how rotten you women are. But anyway, it's important to understand that to make things to where you are protected, that they're protected and you're protected. So number one, have a form stating the reason for the appointment. Number two, let the pastor's wife counsel the ladies. If the pastor must counsel a lady, have a staff lady there. Now, normally, the doors are there, sliding doors are there, two secretaries here facing me so that they can see everything going on in there. But if it's an off period time, then I would have a staff lady with me. Number four, have a small conference room with sliding glass doors. Have a small conference room with sliding glass doors. Sitting there where everybody, the two secretaries out here, sitting here, can observe all that's going on in that room. Again, we're just trying to create a safe environment for both the church member and pastor or the pastoral staff member. Next, have one or two secretaries sitting out at the desk observing. We had two secretaries, and they would sit out here, conference room, sliding doors here, conference room in there, and I would sit and go through my counseling time, but I would have those secretaries there, one or two secretaries. Sometimes one was busy doing something, but one or two sitting there observing the glass doors. Next, have a file for every counseling session. Have a file filled with notes. So every time you counsel somebody, you get an 8.5 by 11 pad, and you jot things down as you go through it. Now, when you're done with the meeting, rip the pad off, take the notes, and put it inside, date it, and put it inside that folder. That way you'll have some protection concerning the subject matter. So again, the whole idea of this is protect the church member and protect the pastor and protect the pastoral staff in the work that they do in trying to help people. That's why we're there. We're trying to help people, and we want to be available, and we want to help, but I've got to safeguard myself, and I've got to safeguard the person coming in. Number 7, if you become aware of a law that is broken, you must report it to the police. If in these counseling sessions you become aware a law has been broken, then you've got to pick up the phone and call the civil authorities. I had a dear friend who was on the police department, who was a sergeant, and he was a Christian, didn't go to our church, but I would call him. I know many times a situation come up, and all of a sudden I realized I'm sitting in the middle of a mess. And so I would pause, and I'd pick up the phone, call the sergeant, and say, "Would you come in, please?" And I'd tell him what it was, and he would come in, and then I would bring him in and let him interrogate, let him talk to the wife or the husband, whoever it might be, or the college student or the teenager, and let him talk to them from the side of the civil. I have no authority there. Too many of us are sticking our noses into other people's business. The area, the body politic that you have that you're responsible for, you're responsible for. You've got enough trouble in your own backyard counseling, trying to keep that thing going without worrying about what the pastor across the country or across the town, what he's doing. You stick to your business and don't stick your nose in everybody else's business. Now, I understand there's something about us, hellfire, damnation, King James only, independent Baptist preachers, strong stand. We want everybody to know we're standing for holiness and righteousness and so on. But sometimes you can overstep your boundaries. You've got enough with your church and your membership without you becoming the national spokesman for righteousness and so on. Look, stay out of it. You're not there. You don't know. I judge my family because I'm supposed to. I judged the two churches I pastored because I was supposed to. They called me, they elected me. And so I did. I did my best to do it righteously and so on. But I had enough on my plate. I didn't have time to worry about what's going on down the street or what's going on around the country. And be careful, because you become a part of a mob mentality. And you become you don't sin, but you become evil, because sin is injuring or destroying oneself. Evil is injuring or destroying others. You don't need to be in the world of others. You've got enough on your back burner and enough in your backyard to keep you busy. All right, let's review and see what we've got. Talking about counseling females. Number one, have a form stating the reason for the appointment before they ever come. Number two, let the pastor's wife counsel the females. Number three, if a pastor must counsel a lady, then have a staff lady present in the room. If it's some other time where the secretaries are not there, and then you just say, "Okay, Mrs. So-and-so, you come in at 1 o'clock," and then have one of the staff ladies come in and sit in the meeting. Number four, have a small conference room with sliding glass doors that people can see in and you can see out. Have one or two secretaries stay at their desk observing. So we had a glass door, sliding glass door, small conference room table, people sitting outside looking in. That's for the members' protection and for my protection. Have a file for every counseling session with notes. Have a file. When I would counsel, she'd put a stack of files, the secretary, on her desk. I would just simply pick up the first one and take it in with me and have a blank sheet in there. I told her, always have a blank sheet in there. And then I would start writing notes down from our meeting. Then I would close it up, date it, and then give it back to the secretary to put in the file. Next, if you have become aware of a law that is broken, then pick up the phone and call the police, have the police come in and interrogate the man, the woman, the teenager, the college student, whatever it might be. And do that. And that's for your protection. That's not your area of judgment. You are not supposed to judge in that area. Romans 13, God has created judges for that area. Just like God has created a pastor of a church across town. That's his area. It's not your area. Oh, they're doing something terrible down there. Well, then just keep your nose in your own backyard. You've got enough on your plate as it is. How about winning somebody to Christ? Spiritual people spread good news, not bad news. Spiritual people spread good news, not bad news. I'll tell the story, then I'm through. Brother House, the church I've preached at many times up in the Boston area. He was going to a church. The pastor had picked him up at the airport and driving down the road. And the pastor said to Brother House, "Look at that complex up there." So Brother House looked and he said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Boy, it's terrible what happened in it up there." He said, "Brother House said, I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Well, let me tell you about it." Brother said, "I don't want to hear it." And the pastor got a little miffed. And he said, "Well, you're going to hear it. You don't hear it from me. You'll hear it from somebody else. It's a big, big deal around here." Brother House said, "I don't want to hear it." He said, "Well, you're going to hear it." And Brother House said, "No, I'm not." He said, I came here not to pick up bad news. I came here to spread good news. And if you want to take me back to the airport, take me back to the airport. A wonderful illustration, great illustration of the way it ought to be. You've got enough on your plate as it is. So today, Ministry Moments, talking about counseling females, counseling ladies. So I hope maybe this helps you a little bit. And join us every Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time. And God bless you. Thank you for giving your life to service for God, and praying for you. If anything, if I can ever be of help, you get a hold of me, let me know. And go to solvechurchproblems.com and subscribe, and you'll get daily quotes, daily ministry ideas. You'll get a lot. There'll be a blessing to you. So I hope that you will subscribe to that. And also on this one, on Ministry Moments, on Solve Church Problems on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel now. And I think that if you'll subscribe, for some reason, that IT guy says, if we want to hit 100, that's what we want. I don't know, some sort of prize, I guess, when we hit 100. I don't know. But if you've not subscribed, you'll get it regularly every week. 3 o'clock Central Time, and Ministry Moments. And God bless you. Thank you for joining us.